Hey Sarah, hey everyone. My name is Tshepo, I'm founder of Aspect, and we're building keynotes for making websites. So why does this matter? Why would we want to do this? There are a ton of other website builders. Well, the reason we're doing this is Aspect, by the way, and I'm just demoing something over here. We're going to do a video and then a practical demo. So the reason we're doing this is because actually all the website builders that currently exist fit into either really two super undesirable categories. Either they're just super high learning curve, or they're super rigid to try to support more simplistic, like casual users. So stuff like WordPress and Webflow will be in the sort of the high learning curve like area, and then those you basically have to become a developer almost to be able to actually like come to grips with those tools. And then stuff like Squarespace and Wix, for example, are kind of so rigid that you actually end up fighting with the tool to try to create what you want. So that was just a demo of it there. And we're going to jump to a practical demo. So I really got to start it so that we could just go super fast. So what we're doing here is basically a website for something like a super high-end brand like Versace or something. And you can notice that basically you'll figure out that we're able with this rather simple looking UI to create something super sophisticated. So we're like 80% of the way there. You'll see almost what I'm trying to do here in a second. Okay, so adjusting padding. I'm just gonna put a button here. So you'll notice on all those like super high-end websites for like, I don't know, Montclair or something, you'll notice that they have these like super big splash pages and then some interesting layout. And so that's what we're trying to do here. Let's just change the color. Let's change the font. Enter.
I was waiting for that.
Let's change. Yeah. And then let's say shop now. Awesome. And then one more thing to do is to just make sure that it's the right color when we click it. Awesome. And then just go to preview mode. Okay, so this is desktop mode, and let's just do tablet. Okay, so go back to edit mode, and then stretch, and then resist stretch. Awesome. Okay, we're like, because we're pressed for time, we're not gonna do mobile, but whatever, it's fine. So we just published. Let's just take a look at the published site. There we go. So you'll notice it's super responsive. Obviously for mobile, it's not gonna respond, but there you have it. Aspect, keynote for building websites. It took about 2 months to get to this point, and we're not necessarily raising, but we're open to conversations. And yeah, that's where we're at.
What happens if you press the shop now button? I didn't see you actually.
Yeah. Oh,
okay. You
sorry,
didn't.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Look, there's such a huge opportunity here. I guess to start, like, talk to me about how are people going to discover your product? Talk a little bit about.
Yeah. So that part's actually super easy. So it turns out that there are a bunch of design communities, especially in tech. So especially like UI designers have stuff like Dribble, Behance. A bunch of them are also on Reddit. So we actually launched to like quite some fanfare on Reddit. So that was kind of a soft launch. I didn't actually mean to publicize that much, but people just took to it. So, and then obviously as we branch out, I mean, if you look at what Webflow tries to do, they try to onboard UI designers into Webflow, but of course the learning curve is so high that most people just churn. And so we hope to fill that gap and obviously supplant Webflow. But yeah, that's how we plan to grow.
And like when you said that there's like people, when you posted in Reddit and it just kind of took off, you had a lot of inbound. Any patterns you noticed in the use cases there?
Yeah, definitely. So the people who actually have the most obsessive usage that basically like just blow up our analytics are actually front-end developers, because what we actually have in the application is not just publishing, but also download. So obviously with stuff like Webflow, you can download the code, but a lot of users notice that our code is actually super concise. I put a lot of work into making sure that like what you actually export is actually production ready, to the point that you can just jump in and make edits that don't feel like you're fighting with whatever like esoteric layout system we're doing. And so so front-end developers use it most obsessively, but of course it's across the gamut. We have users across the gamut. Yeah.
And what are they doing when they're using it?
So everything from email like template to the landing pages, or the scaffolding for the landing pages for whatever they're doing. So whenever I click into stuff that people are creating, I notice that like they're really taking it like 60-70% of the way there, then downloading it and then doing whatever they want to do. And obviously, I think the main reason for that is just because, I mean, it's only been 2 months. This is like I just focus on the super important components to add. And then once we add more sophisticated components, more and more of their workflow is just going to get eaten up by Aspect.
But so it's kind of more internal website use case. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah. So basically, So a lot of people are like creating stuff like landing pages for, I think, for clients, because for some users, they're like super different landing pages for like different, completely different things. So they're not necessarily doing it for personal use. So I think it's a lot of like freelancers and stuff like that. And then on the other end, you have people who are just like creating like email forms or whatever for, I guess, their newsletter or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
My last question, Dan, I promise, is just, you know, with Wix, with Squarespace, you know, a long list. When you land on their product, you, in the beginning days at least, like it was very clear you were landing on a Wix product. And that really helped with, you know, their ability to grow. Like, do you guys, is it a similar feeling when I land on an Aspect site? Like, do I know? Do you help me know?
The answer is no. The reason being that you can create such different kinds of things that you wouldn't be able to, at first brush, you just wouldn't know that it was something created in Aspect. But of course, there's a simple growth hack there to just like put a little badge in there or something, and then, you know, make Aspect cheaper for people who keep their badges on the site or something like that. That's a super simple way to do it.